Ethereum network, we have seen the creation of the private Ethereum network, and whatever the private Ethereum network you have created, and whatever the smart contracts that you write and set up on the Ethereum network, and this Ethereum network need to be communicated with the front end. In order to communicate to front end, we require some remote procedure calls like JSON RPCs for accessing this content. We know that Web 1.0 is static HTML, Web 2.0 consisting of the multimedia and database application. Web 3 is the one where you are going to have the static applications, dynamic applications, as well as connecting to the internet, connecting to the blockchain. So on the basis of that concept, this Web 3 has been came. Web 3 is nothing but third version of the web. Now, in order to connect to this blockchain network, so we are going to use the Web3 JSON RPCs that we have seen in the previous lecture. So here, in which you have
adding the operation. There is another label where you add done, and the label where you add no difference. Sorry, it is not hard. It is a no operation. Right? No operation means they are consuming their output and not doing any kind of it.
Well, in this we have this Web3 app, which is a Web3 app, and this is JSON, and this is the Ethereum network. So the same concept here. So in order to communicate with this network, we can use the JavaScript, or we may also use Java programming, or we may also use Python programming. So whenever this JavaScript has been used, so this JavaScript, for this we require Web3.js as the module to be set up. For if you are developing an application with Java, then Web3.j is required. If you are developing front-end application with Python, then Web3.py is required. So these are the three packages, or we can say APIs, with which we can communicate with the backend database, backend blockchain network. So we all know that how to install this. So here, npm install npm@latest-g, npm install ethereum.js-test rpc -g. So whenever -g is mentioned, it is a global installation. Global installation is nothing but from any folder or any drive, you can access this particular npm. Okay, like that you can also access the ethereum.js-test rpc from anywhere in the system. That is global installation. That means after installation, this package or API is available in the runtime environment. Next one is npm install web3-g, npm install http server-g. Actually, this http server we are going to install because we want to give the IP address of our system to anyone, so that they will also log in, they will also type the same address and port number and connect to our computer, and they may also interact with the blockchain. Next one is npm install --save drizzling React. So actually, if you are going to use React.js for developing the front-end application, so Drizzle React is one API package we are going to install via npm. And install MetaMask extension on Chrome. Anyhow, we did it in the Bodhi Linux. So now these are the packages we are supposed to install for interacting with the blockchain network with the front-end JavaScript application. Now this Web3.j is a Java application that is used for the mobile application development, and Python is also for the web application development. So these are the installation requirements that you need to do. And one thing you remember, npm install npm@latest means this npm already that you have installed will be upgraded. Next one is npm install web3 sometimes we may develop
2 minutes.
our front-end application with the help of some specific version. If you use specific version, then at the rate version number. Okay, so here version number may be like this: web3 at the rate 0.19, like that. Or if you want to use web3 version of some other version, web3 of some other version, so web3 of 1.5, like that, 1.3. so which version of API you want to use, that version should be installed like this at the rate the version number. So whenever, without mentioning at the rate, if you are trying to install web3, whatever is the latest version is there, that version will be automatically installed on your computer. So this is the thing. Actually, whenever you go through any YouTube video for the web application development for the Ethereum or DApp development, they will mention you what version, with what version they are working on, so that you can also install the same version, so that application will run. Otherwise it will not, it will be a problem. In such a cases, if you won't mention this -G, if you won't mention this -G, then this package will be installed in the current working directory. That will not be applicable to the global. Okay, so that is the reason you can create a folder, and you may install this web3 in that folder, so it will be confined, or it will be limited only to that folder. But if you mention -G, then from any drive, from any folder, you can access this web3 package. So that is the reason, whenever you are installing certain package, so don't install certain package globally. Instead, what you do is you may install certain package locally without -G. So this is the way you can install the specific version of a web3 API locally, and you can work in a local environment. Well, so this -G is recommended only if you are working, or if you want to access this API globally in entire your system. I hope by this time you got how to install the packages for this. If you anyhow, I have installed the web3 and all these things in the Bodhi Linux image. Once you also cross check it, if you are have you developed that or not. Can you access that particular packages or not? Otherwise, you may perform these steps and install the things. And how to check it? Check working of web3. So just to type node on the command prompt, constant web3. Here W is capital. Web3 is equal to require of web3. So whenever this particular command has this particular statement has been typed, you will get an answer called undefined. If it is undefined, then that means that you are going to assign the instance of web3 API in this capital W web3 package object. Now just to type web3, automatically it will print the JSON script of this web3 API. Okay, then we'll move on to this. So what you can do is, you can, once you type this, you will get the JSON script for this web3 API. Next one is test RPC. Test RPC will give you whether the remote procedure calls are responding or not. For that, it will show you how the system is able to connect to the backend system, like blockchain network. And if this is up, that is, if it is showing successful, then your RPC is working fine. Next one is visit this website, JavaScript API, or you can go through the Web3.js documentation. So here is the Web3.js documentation. Once the APIs were set up, now you can write the programs. You can start writing the programs. Here are the API references. So capital Web3, this is the Web3 is there. That is what we have obtained via this step, const Web3 is equal to. So once you go for this test RPC, the test RPC will check you whether the RPC is working fine or not. Then you can move on to this Web3.js read documentation. So here is the Web3.js documentation in which the API references, so capital W Web3, that is capital W EB3 means that is the instance that we have got out of this instantiation const Web3 require of Web3. So this is the instance we got, but from this instance we are supposed to connect to the local chain. So how we will connect to the local chain? You are supposed to connect to the local chain, that is whenever you run this, we got the localhost :8545, this kind of URL we got. So we need to connect to the localhost URL. Then with that URL we can use this packages like Web3 utils, set providers. So who is the set provider means the link, web link that was given on the thing, like for example where Web3 is equal to require of Web3. Now here where Web3 is equal to new Web3 of http://localhost 8545. So what is the meaning of this? This means whenever you run the test RPC, whenever this test RPC was run, then it will run the a network with the localhost 8545 as the port number. We can connect to this with this instance of the HTTP provider, and via this Web3 object we may use the packages here like ETH package, web3.eth, web3.eth, and web3.eth.subscribe, web3.eth contract, eth.accounts, eth.personal, and eth.ens. Like that various packages are there. These libraries we may use to get the information from the blockchain, and also to pass the parameters onto the blockchain. So onto the blockchain means especially to the smart contracts that you place on the blockchain. So these are the various references. So first thing is just like in Python programming also, what you do is you will import a package. From that package, whatever the objects are there, you are going to use those objects from the package. Like in Java programming also, import util package. In that util package, whatever the classes and interfaces are there that you will use. Like that, first of all, we need to take the instance of Web3 package API, and with this Web3 instance, we need to connect to the URL. What is that URL? That URL will be who will provide that URL? Whenever you run the test RPC, that will provide you the URL. That URL you are supposed to take, and you have to add it as the provider. Who is the provider? That URL is the provider. So how we will add the provider? Just you are supposed to add the provider using this function in this form. Okay, where Web3 is equal to new Web3 of the provider, who is the URL. Okay, so this URL you are supposed to supply. From this, this entire libraries will come into the picture. Or in the private network, I have given you anyhow. In the private network, if you are creating your own private network, then usually you use personal DB ETH, net. These are the APIs you will add via the command prompt, and you may use these packages or APIs. Now, this entire running of the network and all will be taken care by the test RPC itself. If you run test RPC, it will run a test private network of the Ethereum. And it will give you directly the web link or HTTP link, and you are supposed to use that link and connect with the Web3 package, and you use that Web3 object to test your network. So in the first step, what we done is we have created our own node. Okay. In the second thing, what we have done is we have created a private network. Now somewhat more sophisticated. No need to create any private network or something. Once you have written a smart contract, now directly you want to deploy, and or you want to directly test a network. So for that we use test RPC is a command. We use this, and will generate automatically. This test RPC will generate the private network and will provide you a URL. Now directly using this installations of the APIs, and now we are going to instantiate the Web3, and via this Web3 API, Web3 instance, we are going to connect to the URL provided by the test RPC, and we are applying these functions. Whatever the functions or whatever the modules available in Web3, we are going to make use of these modules and corresponding functions to get our information or to pass the information to the smart contracts on the blockchain. So this is the way we do. And now this can be done from the command prompt, because node is the tool we are going to use for connecting to the Web3, or we may also write the same on the web browser. So in order to run onto the web browser, obviously HTML file is required, and in the HTML file we may also write the JavaScript code. So for that JavaScript code, there is a tagline like script language is equal to JavaScript, and within the comments we write that. So in the JavaScript code where we usually will write, in that we go for writing of this particular statements, like where Web3 is equal to require of Web3, where Web3 is equal to new Web3 of the URL provided by the test RPC will be placed there. Then we take the values from the HTML fields, and those values we are passing to the smart contracts. I hope by this time you got the idea of how to develop a web application and how to make use of this Web3 package to connect with the smart contracts that is running on the blockchain. Any doubts so far? So in HTML page, you can also write JavaScript. Everybody know it. We usually write the JavaScript for testing whether the field is empty or not, or whether to check actually for the front end validations. For example, age is there. Age is the field where you must enter minimum 18 years and more than 18 years. If somebody has entered 15 years, then you may write a JavaScript program to check whether the field has entered, the value entered in the field is less than 18 or not, and immediately you will give an alert box. Okay, it must be greater than 18, like that. So all these things what you are doing, you are taking from the HTML only. So you take the data from the HTML and you will pass it to the JavaScript before pressing the button on press or on click. This kind of events you use, and based upon that event, whenever that event was fired, automatically the script will be executed. In the same way, we also write the JavaScript with this Web3 as a package. With this Web3 package, and this Web3 now is connected to the background running blockchain network. Now, what are the parameters you take from the HTML? That parameters you will pass through to the smart contracts via this Web3 package. So Web3 package will give you the interfaces like what are the interfaces: eth.subscribe, eth.contract, accounts, personal, ENS. These are the various utility packages, utility things. So all these things will be provided by the Web3. Now we should make use of this, and we need to pass the parameters to the to this package, this particular modules, so that we can get the desired results that what we want. So this is the way we usually will go for writing the programs. So these are the Ethereum APIs that we have seen previously.